Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this video I'm going to be showing you guys this skirt. So someone sent me this skirt and they wanted an illustration on it. So basically what you need here is two different fabrics, right? It can be two Akara fabrics, it can be two plain fabrics. So what you're going to do is you're going to get the fabric. Don't worry, I'll tell you how you're going to calculate the width and the length. But first of all, you're going to get, let's say this is my one of the fabric I'm working with. I'm going to fold it into two this way, right? And then this is the second fabric I'm working with. Again, open this way. I'm also going to fold it into two, and then I'm going to be cutting the two of them together. So that means I'm going to place it together. You see, both of them are the same width and the same length, folded into two. And if I count it, you see I have 4 pieces on this side, but that doesn't matter for now. So now the next thing we are going to calculate is the waist, the measurement we are going to be working with. So let's say you're working with waist of 30. That's measuring around your waist, round the circumference of your waist is 30, right? The next thing you're going to need is what you're going to add to this 30. So if you want, you can use your nipple to nipple measurement, like from one side to the other. Your nipple to nipple measurement, whatever it is, it can be 9. You can just use that 9. Or if you feel like you can use that 9 and add maybe extra 2 inches to it, or if you feel like that is so small, it can work for maybe a smaller person. A bigger person might want you to wrap around more, because remember, this is a wrap skirt and you don't want, as you're working for it to slip, like to open up, right? Because the slit is in front, so you might want more closure with it, right? So that each wrap can cross over even more. So what you can do is, let's say this is you, right? And this is your belly button. From one belly button, from the center, your belly button is always in the center. So you can measure from this point now, going sideways where you would want it to stop. So let's say it's 5 inches away from your belly button, 6 inches away from your belly button. You're going to times whatever it is by 2, right? So for this side, and then the one that is going to go underneath it. So the one going across and then the one going inside. So that's why you're multiplying it by 2. So let's say you're going to use 6 inches or 5 inches. If it's 5 here that you're working with, that's why I said you can do your nipple to nipple, right? Because it can help you calculate. So going up where you would want it, so that would be like, let's say 4 inches away from the center, or 4 inches. That's why I said that. So but it depends on you, whatever you want to work with. So let's say after you marked it on yourself, I think this is a better method. That way you're definitely sure this is where I want the wrap to stop on each side. So basically go from your belly button and measure away from that point and figure out how far you want it to go. So now don't go too far, because remember, you still have a belt, just where you want the fabric to cover, not where you want the belt to cover. So let's say after you do that, you figure you want to use 5. So 5 for this side and then 5 for the other one going across, because remember, one is going here, one is going here. So let's say 5 here, 5 here. That will give you 10, right? So this 10 inches now is what I'm going to add to my waist measurement. Remember, this is my waist measurement, round my waist. So all together, I'm working with 40 inches, right? So now this 40 inches, what I'm going to do is you're going to use a constant, which is like, you will use it for anybody. You're making it extra large, double X, triple X, extra small, anybody you're making it for. Once you calculate this and get the total that you want as the waist, because this is now representing the round waist measurement that we're working with. Once you get that, you're going to now use it. So let's say it's 40. I'm going to divide it by 3.14, which is a constant for anybody, guys, anybody. So you're going to use this 3.14 to divide any measurement that you got. So that's 12 for me, 12.7. So now this 12.7, what I'm going to do is you're going to use it now to calculate the opening, because this let's say this 12.7 is the measurement you're going to put. You're going to go to the angle, the part with the fold, and that's the point where you're going to insert this 12.7. So let's say this is it here now. You're going to just calculate it and mark 12.7, 12.7, 12.7. You've gotten the round the waist, because this is going to serve as the waist measurement part. But now you need the one that will calculate the length of the dress, the length of the skirt. It can be from your waist to your below knee or to your ankle. So to calculate this particular one, you just have to measure from your waist to where that part is, right? So let's say it can be 40, it can be whatever for you, wherever you want the length to be. So now how you're going to know the amount of fabric you're going to need after you folded it into 2 is just to calculate that 12 inches that we got, this 12.7 that we got, add it to the length that you're working with. That's how you're going to know if the fabric you have on the surface will be enough to calculate, to insert all these measurements. So what I'm going to do is that 12.7 I got after dividing this, I'm going to add it to the length of my skirt that I measured on my body. So let's say the length I measured from my waist to my ankle is 40, and then plus this 12.7. So altogether the measurement I'll be working with now will be is going to be 52.7. you see, so it's going to be 52.7. So I'm going to make sure that my fabric, because if you're using an Akara fabric, you will find that Akara doesn't go up to 52. So that means you're going to take the edge, like when you get to the edge of the fabric, you're going to take another fabric and just sew it continuously all the way on this end here to increase the length of your fabric, because you see that this is the edge of the cloth, right? When Akara comes, it has this edge here. So that means, and when you measure it, it's sometimes end at 47, 48. So you will need to cut out another rectangular fabric and then join it to this bottom part just to extend your fabric going down. Except the fabric you're working with is cut by 60, that doesn't matter. So whatever you're using, you're going to increase the length that way. And then, but for the fold, it doesn't matter because you can always extend the fold. So you're going to make sure you have 52.5 on this side, and then you also have 52.5 on this other side. You understand? So you're having it on the length, you're also having it this way on the width. So now after that, what you're going to do now is that 40 inches, you're sure that everything can fit in, you can now go ahead and mark. So I'm just going to go ahead and assume that this is the 40, right? I've gone ahead and cut it. So now I have my 12.7, and then I have my 40 inches at the bottom, and then all together I have 52.7 here, 52.7 here, if that makes sense. So now all I have to do is to just go ahead and cut out here and go ahead and cut out the bottom. So guys, you see, we've cut this part out, we've cut this part out. I'm going to take the two of them out. So now you're going to have your full skirt, right? But what you're going to do, you see, if I open it up now, we have our, because it's half a circle. So now we have the two of them, and you see they are both the same width and length. So this is the waist we are going to be working with, and it's going to wrap around each other this way. So one is coming in this way in the center, the other one is going over this way. So this is our wrap skirt. But let's talk about how we can make it reversible, right? So what I'm going to do is just to go ahead and turn it in such a way that the right side is facing the right side, right? Because we are going to be sewing it that way. Make sure that the two right sides are facing each other, and then the wrong sides are out. You see, the wrong side of the fabric are out this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from this end and sew it close using half an inch. Close up here, close up the bottom, go up to this side also. I'm going to use half an inch to close this up, use half an inch to close it all the way around. And once that is done, I'm going to just use my scissors to just snip it a little to reduce the tension all the way around across. And then once that is, I'm going to go ahead and do that now first. So guys, this is it here. You see, I sewed all the way. The only part I left open is just this circular part. So now, and then I've snipped all the edges. So now all you have to do is just to put your hand in. Guys, I know you're thinking, because this is a smaller version, but you know that in your own it will look much more bigger, right? So now all I have to do is just to flip this in, and then I'm going to go ahead and iron it. So guys, for the belt you need like one long strap that is about 3 inches of width. So you're going to cut the same thing on this one, and then the same thing on this other fabric. So the two fabrics you're working with, you're going to make sure you have 3 inches of each of them, and then make it as long as possible. And then what you're going to do is, why I said 3 inches is because the band is normally 2 inches, right? So 3 inches because you use half an inch to join the two of them together at the top, and then you're going to use half an inch to join the bottom part to the cloth. So that's why I said 3 inches. So once you take away half at the top, half at the bottom, you're left with 2 in the middle, right? So now what you're going to do is, you're going ahead just to be accurate, right? You can take your skirt, measure what you have as the opening. So start from one end here, measure to the other end. So let's say I take mine now and measure right around. Like we already know what you're supposed to have is like that that initial waist measurement that you got. So whatever that is what you're supposed to have at the center here. So let's say this is mine now. So about, let's say 10 inches for me. So what you're going to do is just find the center of band, and then you're going to take that 10 inches and then place it there. So let's say this is it here. So this is the center. Let me use a chalk to identify that. So this is it here. So guys, this is the center with the chalk. I've marked it here. So now I'm going to just place this. So like I said, the waist is 10, so you're going to make sure half of it is going this way and half of it is, so you're going to split the waist measurement, whatever you get. So for me is 10, right? What I got for measuring around that opening. So let's say it's at this point, so I'm going to fold it into 2 on my tape. Even if it's 40, I just have to fold it into 2 on my tape, mark the center of my belt, and then I'm going to place that center part on this, and the other one is going halfway. You're going to go ahead and mark where that end is, and then the other part that is going this way, mark where the other end of it is. You understand? So whatever your waist is, whatever you get after measuring the round part of it, notch, fold your tape into 2 this way, place it at the center where you already marked it on your chalk, mark the end of it here, and then mark the beginning of it, and then mark the end of it. That means when you go to sew, you're going to close up all your seam all the way to that point that you marked. The same on this other end, close it up all the way to this corner, to the point that you marked, and then you're going to take it to your flip it out, and then go ahead and iron it. That way you can fix it on the skirt. So let me go ahead now and mark mine. So guys, how you're going to flip it, put your hand from one side here, flip out this other side, right? And then you put your hand on this other side, and then flip out the rest of the belt and iron it. So guys, this is basically done. You see, there are 2 sides to this. If I turn it, I'm using this side. If I want to use this side, this other side, I can use this other side. So basically now what you're going to do is, using this opening here, you're going to fit in the waist of the skirt here. That way both sides are wearable. You understand? Because there will not be any seam left out there. So all you have to do is, using this 1/2 inch that is already tucked in the band, you see the 1/2 inch of seam allowance that you've already ironed, making this band look so straight. You see, you turned everything is looking good now. You're going to just take it from one end here, fit in the waist of this skirt inside, like this, inside of this band, making sure you're facing these parts together and each side together, and then you're going to start from that side and sew a seam, sew a stitch, holding it together all the way to the end of the other side. That's why you have to measure it, so that you're using exactly what you need. And then once you tuck it in between this space now, using 1/2 inch of seam allowance for both the band and the skirt. Exactly how you make this. You see, I've gone ahead and joined this at the center. I've added this here. This is facing, you see, this whole part now is facing this color, and if I turn it around, it's a totally different color. So it depends on you how you want yours to be. One plain fabric and 1 akara, you can do 2 akara on both sides. So it depends on you what you want to work with. And guys, you can even make it below knee, you can make it knee length, you can make it ankle length, like a maxi skirt. So that's basically it for this. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Guys, please like, share and subscribe. Bye.